God bless Jamaica. God love Jamaica. God bless Jamaica.
Wagwan viewers and subscribers, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now, people. So some breaking news coming out of Jamaica, people, where legendary recording producer Lee Scratch Perry has died. Yes, people, Lee Scratch Perry has died. Goes on to say, producer and performer who worked with Bob Marley and pioneered both dubbed and roots reggae styles, died in hospital in Jamaica. Lee Scratch Perry, whose pioneering work with roots reggae and dubbed opened up profound new depths in Jamaica music, has died at the age of 85. It is being reported that he died in the hospital in Lucy, in the northern part of Jamaica. No cause of death has been yet given. Andrew Holness, the country's prime minister, has sent deep condolences to the Perry's family. The looping tempos of his work established the roots reggae sound that Bob Marley made world famous, while his dub production, with its haunting use of space and echo, would have profound influence on post-punk, hip-hop, dance music, and other genres, along with his dynamic pronouncements of mythical air. He became one of Jamaica's most unusual and esteemed artists. Keith Richards once described him as the Salvador Dali of music. He's a mystery. The world is his instrument. You just have to listen. Perry was born Rainford Hugh Perry in the Hanover parish of Northwest Jamaica in 1936 and left school when he was young. There was nothing to do except fieldwork, so I started playing dominoes and learned to read the minds of others, he said. He was hired by Clement Coxstone Todd, head of Reggae Studio and label Studio One, as an assistant, then as a talent scout, DJ, store manager, and eventually a recording artist. He earned his Scratch nickname from an early recording, the Chicken Scratch, in 1965. In the first of the many spots that dotted his career, Perry split with Todd and began working with the producer and label head Joe Gibbs, who in return was cast aside by Perry. He became increasingly independent, forming his own backing band, the Upsetters, with a string of early releases fixated on spaghetti westerns, Return of the Django, Clint Eastwood, The Good, The Bad, and The Upsetters, and more. In 1973, he built his own studio, the renowned Black Ark. He experimented with drum machines and the potential of studio equipment, as well as firing guns, breaking glass, and sampling animal noises. He also blew marijuana smoke on the poster tapes to supposedly enhance the recordings. He pioneered the technique of dub versions of reggae tracks with the bass emphasized, vocals sometimes removed, and reverb added to create an eerie, echoing sonic space. I see the studio must be like a living thing, a life itself, he said. The machine must be live and intelligent. Then I put my mind into it. The machine and the machine perform reality. The Upsetters backed Max Romeo for the Perry-produced album War in a Babylon, part of the wave of politicized reggae in the mid-1970s and featuring one of the genre's biggest anthems in the Chase the Devil. Other classics that Perry produced include the Congo's cosmic masterpiece, Heart of the Congos, the Heptones' Dylan covering Party Time, the Junior Marvin's hit Police and Thieves, which protested against police brutality and was later covered by The Clash. Perry later produced the Clash's 1970 single, Complete Control. So a long time, Perry was way ahead of his time, people. Way ahead of his time. I produced music that protested about police brutality, and look what is going on in 2020. People still protest about police brutality, people. Crazy, crazy. It goes on to say the same year Paul and Linda McCartney traveled to Black Ark and recorded 2 songs there. In 1980, Perry sent a letter to the Japanese Minister of Justice after McCartney was arrested for carrying 7.7 ounces of marijuana in his luggage, arguing, "Please do not consider the amount of herbs involved excessive. Master Paul McCartney's intentions are positive." Before Black Ark, Perry also worked with Bob Marley and the Wailers, who had incorporated members of the Upsetters. Their recordings in 1970 and 1971 are much admired. Marley's son, Ziggy, has said, "Scratched helped my father look deeper into himself. He was instrumental in my father's career." The collaboration ended in acrimony, though with Bunny Wailer later saying he just sat there in the studio while we played our music and then he screwed us. We never saw a dime from those albums we did with him. Lee Perry's ignorance cost us a lot of money and I never forgave him. Perry burned down the Black Ark in 1983, convinced it was possessed by evil spirits, but he steadily continued to record throughout the rest of his life. He won a Grammy Award for the 2003 album E.T. Further collaborators included George Clinton, Moby, The Orb, The Slits, Ari Up, and the Beastie Boys. They were nice Jewish boys and they were clean inside. Very lovely, he said of the latter, who honored him in the track Dr. Lee PhD. He also collaborated with British dub producers Adrian Sherwood and Mad Professor. A documentary about his life, The Upsetter, was narrated by Benicio del Toro and released in 2008. Perry was married twice, first to Paulette Perry, from whom he divorced in 1979, and then to Marilee Riog, whom he met in 1989. He later moved to Switzerland to live with Riog, with whom he had 2 children, later reasoning to The Guardian about his new home. "I'm part elf, it's too warm for me sometimes, I need somewhere cold." As well as his music, he was known for his eternal youthful and chaotic dress sense and his mystical statements about himself. "I am an alien from the other world," he has claimed. "I lived in space, I'm only a visitor here." He was devotedly religious, telling The Guardian in 26, "God is the teacher, the high priest, the coach where we are coming from." And in 2015, "There is no better teacher than Christ. Christ's words are perfect." Among those paying tribute to Perry was novelist Nari Kongzuro, who described him as one of the greatest artists in any medium of the last 50 years. Much of our lives, whether we know it or not, are lived in sound worlds he created. So yeah, people, once again, Lee Scratch Perry has passed away. He's been battling some illness for quite some time, and he passed away today, people. Jamaican icon, people. Jamaican living icon has passed away. May his soul rest in peace. Condolences goes out to the Perry family from YaadAndAbroadTV, people. And this was just, some backstory of his life and, what he did throughout the years, people. So big up in yourself once again, and thank you guys for tuning in to YaadAndAbroadTV. Once again, Lee Scratch Perry has passed away. May his soul rest in peace, people. Bless up.